All right, first winter storm of 2024, 2025 here. And new this year, I'm going to try. This is really hard to do. I'm going to start right now. I'm going to try to do this in 2 minutes or less. Boop, here we go. All right, so what's going on? First of all, look, the forecasts are wild on this storm. People are talking about feet of snow. Look, this is textbook lake effect snow. Let's explain lake effect. Okay. Right now we have cold, dry air. That cold, dry air is moving from the west to the east because of the jet stream in the United States. Weather always moves and air always moves from the west to the east. The Great Lakes are not frozen. So, when you have cold air that moves over the unfrozen Great Lakes, water will evaporate off of the Great Lakes into the air. So now we have moisture in the air necessary for precipitation. When that air moves over to the east over New York, the ground is frozen or at least colder than the unfrozen lakes. And when air decreases in temperature, it contracts, it squeezes moisture out. And so we get lake effect snow immediately to the east of large unfrozen bodies of water. This is textbook lake effect right now. Unfrozen lakes, cold air, dry air. Textbook lake effect. And anybody who's been paying attention, I don't know if you watched the Buffalo game last Sunday, anybody who's paying attention knows that lake effect areas are getting hammered with snow right now. So I think that that's creating a bit of a hype, and people are like really, like, I don't know, thinking that they're going to get feet of snow. Look at this storm. Let's contextualize. Look at this storm. Let me show you a storm that dropped 18 inches of snow on New York a couple years ago. This storm dropped 18 inches of snow on New York a couple years ago. Look at the development of this storm. Big base cleft development here, picking up moisture off of the Gulf. Look at the radar footprint. We're not seeing that with this storm. This is a very much lake effect phenomenon. If we go to total precip values, we're looking at 0.25, zero point 0.5. That's a quarter to a half an inch of precip. That's measured in liquid form. When you have, let's say, a half inch of liquid water and it's 10, 12 degrees outside, yeah, you could start to get into inches of light, fluffy snow. But 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 with the exception of people who are going to get the lake effect, this storm does not have a huge amount of moisture in it. We're going to wrap up here. All right, so in summary, what's going on here? This is a lake effect phenomenon. People immediately to the east of the lakes are going to get hammered. Every now and then, and if you look at this, there is like a tail coming off this. Every now and then, some of these snow belts will scoot around the southern Adirondacks and it'll pick up like kind of like southern Adirondack, Johnstown, kind of scooting around to like the Saratoga, Albany region here. And those regions get a little bit of the lake effect. So we could be seeing some of that. But unless you live in a well-established Buffalo, Cuse, Tug Hill, Rochester, unless you live in like a well-established lake effect zone, you shouldn't be expecting feet of snow out of this, or like at elevation or whatever. You shouldn't be expecting feet of snow out of this. There's not a lot of moisture held up in this storm. This is specifically a lake effect kind of phenomenon. And when's it going to hit? I mean, we're engaging the storm right now. It's like noon on 12/4. It looks like we're getting, this kind of wrap around. So it's supposed to go through the afternoon into the night. I actually don't even love that forecast. Maybe like what we're going to see is this dipping down. It makes sense, right? Cold settings. This will dip down a little bit and encounter us a little bit more. But, I question, with the exception of lake effect, those places are going to get hammered. I question some of these bigger forecasts in here. I think a couple inches of light, fluffy snow for anybody living outside of a lake effect zone is a realistic forecast for this. Anything more seems to be a bit of hype. We'll see.